Alright, how's it going, guys? We're here with Crazy and Physics for an update video tonight. And this one's going to cover about 5 or 6 updates. But they've all been really small ones, so no real big deal. Shouldn't take too long. So we're going to start with 603.36. The ore boost configuration did not work on small Gregtech ores. That was fixed. So you can boost how much ore you have spawn in the world, and you can also do the multiplier on how much you get out of it when you put it in machines. Controller covers turning off the gas burning box, even though they should give a non-functional on signal instead, was fixed. So these here, controller covers turning off the gas burning box. Well, they are turning off the gas burning box. Well, let's check this out and see if this changes. Do I got any? No. Alright, let me run upstairs and grab some dust to throw in there. And we'll see if anything changed with that. I think I've used it since the update, so I don't think it's going to change anything. But we'll try it. And let's see. Improve the fluid display item by saving the fluid name as a string instead of its MBT. Check your fluid filters. I checked that. All my fluid filters are still good. And like I said, I've run this since, so I think everything's working fine with it. Not quite sure what that was supposed to do, unless that was talking about this controller, which did actually get fixed because this works now. But I'll show you the filters over here. Well, that one doesn't have anything in it yet. This one has hydrogen. This has all my vitriols in it, and they're all working good. So nothing changed. Everything's working as should. I didn't have to change any, and that definitely shut it off as soon as it was done. So that's all taken care of. And let's see. Number 37 update. There's some mariculture recipes. Loading when extra biome is loading because he put in the wrong mod ID. So that was fixed. We don't have mariculture in here, so I can't really look at that. Those recipes. Wooden item recycling and burning in furnace, which I wanted to show this because we're actually going to be getting rid of Java in the near future. So there's actually a recipe to get rid of these. We can burn them, or we can throw them in a crucible to get ash. We can put them in a cutter, which will give 50 wood planks and small pile of wood pulp. Looks like 30. And then you can also shred it to get a whole stack of wood pulp. So unless you want paper or want to have to make the wood planks by throwing it back into a compressor, you might as well do the cutter. So here you go, Invisics, you wanted to help. You can go destroy the hell out of them. And I'm going to have to change over the rest of these I've got, or empty the rest of these I have. You can take that one that's right there as well and just go throw them in the cutter, and I'll worry about emptying them later. Let's see. The sifter ore recipes for dust ores slightly still have the same byproducts. That was actually messed up and he had to refix it in the next one. But you get more out of it now, I do believe, from the little bit of testing I did with it. but it was actually not doubling at all for a while. Let's see. Added an easier recipe from glue using sticky resin or propolis, mixing it with water. Also, glue bottles are dungeon loot as well now. I showed this in a GT6, Bear's Den GT6. Oh, he's trying to find my thing. Basically, what it is you just put the sticky resin into a mixing bowl with water. And I'm trying to type and talk at the same time, so nothing's coming out properly. So sticky resin, and you put it in a mixer, so a mixing bowl with water, and that gives you your glue. So 4 of these will give you 1 full unit of glue, and then you can just pull that out with a bottle by hand. So that's a great thing early on, because you need the glue bottle to make the item barrels, I do believe. No, it's the tank. The tank uses a glue bottle, so now you can make the wooden tanks like this right here early game instead of needing to get a centrifuge first. And let's see. Wooden bathing pot, of course, includes the table version of it. Has a few more limitations than the stainless one. That was a great addition that he made. I've already made one and played with it in GT6, I think it was. Let's see, bathe, there it is. There's a wooden bathing pot, so you make this with that glue bottle, so you use your mixing bowl to make your glue, and then you use that and a long lead rod and some wood, and that makes your bathing pot. So then you can do the paper, because that uses water, without having to have a bathing machine. You can make it. Also, you can use it instead of this with the creosote to make your sealed wood. That way you can make the tanks early on. Don't have to have stainless steel for that. And that's it for update 37. 38, he fixed stone and fluid world gen taking way more time than they should. Blame vanilla for the lag it had before this fix. Fixed multiple crafting sounds playing when using the advanced crafting table. Not fixed for any other crafting tables though. So when you were making bunches and bunches of this stuff, it'd make a lot of real annoying noise. That's been fixed. Fixed double crafting sounds in single player. Apparently they were able to be played server side when you're in single player. Glue recipe by mixing slime balls and water was added at this time. So we'll look them up. Should be the exact same thing as the sticky resin one that I just got done showing you. So there you go. Still get 250 out of it. Can be done in the mixing bowl as well. Bottle for MFR pink slime fluid, and yes, it's actually edible. Can be used as glue as well. We don't have MFR, so I can't really show you that one, but it's pretty self-explanatory. The advanced crafting table can now draw fluids directly from adjacent barrels, so if this chest wasn't here, I could just take this tank and sit it right directly next to it. Wouldn't need a pipe, and it would draw it straight from it into these little bucket things up here at the top. So that's nice. You can actually change out your fluids easier, like crazy on Bear's Den. GT6 wanted water and milk going into her crafting table, and we were having problems with how to shut the water off and get the milk in. And this way, all she has to do is break the water pipe, have it go to a tank beside it, and then she can just pick up the tank when she wants to use the milk and put the milk in. So that's nice for people that do food stuff like that with the advanced crafting table. And it also can pull from plastic cans, mixing bowls, bathing pots, so not just a tank. Let's see, 39. He fixed a bug that caused improperly coded Minecraft launchers to crash on startup. Not real sure which ones those were. Wet seafoam not rendering on unconnected pipes or wires. I hadn't actually seen that one, because I've never tried to do unconnected wires, but that'll now render properly. Thylacraft tallow candle bath recipe, where I wrote 2 instead of 2 units, was fixed. Don't have Thylacraft, so can't show that one. Changed item and fluid pipes are now more in sync with the server-wide time. Added fluid pipes that can handle 4 and 9 fluids at once. And I have been making butt tons of them here, so I can actually get my outside pipeline taken care of. So you have a 4 and a 9. This is the 9 recipe. Uses small pipes, makes a non-nupal aluminum fluid pipe, and that's what I'm going to use outside. I'm actually going to change all of this around up here and put in either non-nupal or quadruples up here, because my stuff goes really slow because it has to wait on one fluid to get through before the next one can start. The non-nupal uses smalls, the quadruple uses normals, if I remember correctly. Look it up here to make sure. There's the quadruple, which is normal fluid pipes, and then your non-nupal, like I said, uses a small. So you're going to need filters on them to be able to filter out what goes where. And from what Greg had said, one fluid will actually take up more than one pipe if there's the ability to do so. That way it can go through quicker. So I'm going to do some playing around with it when I set up my pipeline and see exactly how they work. I think I have these just about made. I've got 6 more dust in there and another stack in here I need to run through, so hopefully sometime after Christmas, before we all take off to new lands, I'll at least get the pipeline outside fixed and be able to check that out. And let's see. Next is, that is it for 39. Now we're on to 40. And then we'll have 41, which crazy ones because it adds a juicer. So 40, change some shredder recipes. This was an awesome thing. Let's see if I got any in here. It actually has kind of screwed up my calculations when I was doing things with Junior on GT6.03.36-41 Classic. But you'll see that if you throw a refined in, you now get 1 dust plus 27 1/72. If you throw the tiny one in, you actually get 11 1/72 instead of 1 tiny. So you don't lose your stuff by doing that. Let's see. For the crushed, the purified, the refined ores, It did change the math slightly on the amount of output you get from smelting them as well. You now get 1/36 more from smelting purified ores and a bit less for the crushed ones. When he added, when mass storages and item barrels have dust or dust blocks, they will pile up the dust to the selected size. This is something I definitely want to check out. Sounds like a great addition. Basically, if I put that down there and I take, let's use the palladium here. If I take 9 of these and I make these into an actual crushed ore or purified ore, and I put this into this item barrel, and then hopper, put the hopper barrel on top of it. Now I don't want to lose any, so I'm going to make sure I do this in a 9, because I'm actually going to take this back out. But that should go in. It's not working for the purified. I thought he said it worked for the purified too. Is it just dust and nuggets? Let's see. Dust or dust blocks. They will pile up the dust to the selected size. Same goes for ingots, nuggets, chunks. Alright, well, son of a bitch. I was hoping he did it for those as well, and apparently he didn't. So I'm going to have to try it with dust instead. Daggone it. Look what you did to me, Greg. Alright, so I think I have some dust over here I can do it with. Need to get me a soft hammer and clear that. So here we go. We'll use tetra. I have plenty of that here. So if I take and make a tetra dust. There we go. And do I got a soft hammer around here? Let's look in here. There we go. And that'll clear it. Put the tetra dust on. And then drop that in. You'll see it starts going down. And when it gets all 9 in there, it'll pop up to number 2. So you can actually use this as a dust funnel. And it'll also do, if you put a block in here, it would take the tinies all the way up to block form. You can throw tinies, smalls, and 1/72 all in there. And it'll take care of putting them together with as little loss as possible. And then you won't have to worry about having a dust funnel for every different material. Or you can, instead of having this dust funnel that I have here, you could just have it running to a whole bank of these that has each one of the different things. Because right now what I was planning on doing with this contraption that I haven't done anything with yet is the pipe coming out, instead of going to this chest, was going to go to a pipe that would end up going to all these different barrels. And so this way it doesn't actually need it, and it's actually going to eliminate this middle part for dust, at least, because I can just have it go through the filter into the pipe and then have that pipe dump into all of these. So this contraption I was building is a little bit outdated now because of this update. So let's see. I'm going to have to play around with that a little bit when I build my periodic table. Let's see. What else did we have here? And that was it for that update. So now, 41. He fixed cassiterite melting point being below tin melting point. He changed considering mechanism osmium no longer as the same thing as actual osmium. So this osmium here should now be elemental osmium, I do believe is what he called it, when it actually gets turned into a which it may not actually do it, because we don't have mechanism in here. It's not going to do anything, but you're going to have two different kind of osmiums, because mechanisms just sprays osmium everywhere. It kind of would break the way you're supposed to get osmium with Gregtech. It's not the same thing as actual osmium, but you can still turn elemental osmium from Gregtech into the fake osmium from Mechanism using a generifier. It essentially nullifies all the sources of osmium for Gregtech that are located in other mods, since it's an entirely different material now. Old osmium ingots and stuff from Gregtech will turn into the elemental variant automatically. Also, Gregtech tools made of fake osmium aren't that good anymore. So now if you want to play with Mechanism and Gregtech together, you can either choose to leave osmium as a very end game material, so Mechanism won't be able to be used until then, or you can leave the osmium or generation on and do it right along with Gregtech, and it won't break the Gregtech progression. Let's see. Fish meal was added, which is shredded fish meat, and related things such as recipes and food items were added. Yes, it is like the mariculture stuff. Note that due to balance reasons, I decided to make the mariculture fish meal just 1/4 of a dust, aka a small pile of dust. There's a fish burger. Let's look at this. If I could spell fish meal. Alright, so cooked fish meal, raw fish meal, and rotten fish meal. Ew. I don't want no rotten fish meal. That stuff probably stinks. Alright, so the regular fish meal you get from juicing a fish. You get fish meal and fish oil. I am not juicing a fish. That's just nasty. You can shred the actual fish bar. Can you throw a fish in the shredder? I want to throw a fish in a damn shredder. Damn it, I want to shred a fish. You can squeeze a fish and get fish meal and fish oil. And then you take the fish meal and you cook it, smelt it right in your oven, and it makes your cook stuff. Alright, now what the hell is this? You can cook fish meal. Which one of these does it do? Do I have any fish around here? Because we got to try this. Because this says fish meal cooked into a cooked fish bar, or fish meal cooked into cooked fish meal. Which one does it do, Greg? Pick one. IC2 compressor recipe to compress it. You can apparently smelt it in a smelter at 47 and a crucible at 477. You can mix it with that to make a okay, so if you're supposed to mix it with oatmeal or barley flour, regular flour, why does it have the smelting recipe thing there? Right, that makes your fish bar. You can ferment the fish meal into rotten fish meal. Ew. And then this regular compressor recipe, so you can compress it, which again means you don't need the oatmeal thing. Alright, so then cooked fish meal bar, what do we do with that stuff? Anything? You can ferment it, you can can it into canned fish. So, where's the fish burger? I don't see no fish burger. And what do you do with rotten fish meal? Is there any use for this crap? Hey, look, she brought me a salmon. Okay, so we make chum with rotten fish meal. I am not making chum, thanks. Alright, so if I take this over here to the oven, which one am I going to... Oh, wait a minute. You use a fish bar and bun. Well, why didn't it show that in the recipe? Look. Shape crafting. Not in there. Shapeless crafting. Not in there. So how are you seeing this? Let's look up fish. Let's look for... There's a fish sandwich. Leafy fish sandwich. Fish burger. Okay, why was this not showing up in mine? Am I looking at a different fish bar or something? You can throw a puffer fish in a crucible and get a cooked fish bar. Ha 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 ha. That's awesome. I think it might have been a... Freaking NEI just hates me. That's all it is. Alright, so we got to cook this and see what it does. But first we need a juicer. So let's go ahead and make Crazy happy and let's go to the juicer. Added a juicer. It does essentially what the squeezer does. Less efficient and by hand. It's made of hardened clay. Can also make seed oil for creating sealed wood. So there is a juicer. So we're going to put this down and we're going to take our fish and we're going to... Oh, that's even quick. So now we need to get a tank underneath this to try to get this to auto out of it. There's something in this one. Let me go grab a Buildcraft tank that I haven't gotten rid of yet and drain that bad boy. While these two sit here and beat on it trying to take it out every other way. You're probably not going to be able to get that out crazy unless you go get 4 fish. Because I do believe it takes 4 to make a full thing. Let me see. Fish. It's not showing the damn juicer in here. The juicer recipe ain't showing up. There we go. You get... Oh, it says 2 liters in the juicer for a salmon. So there should be enough to pull it out with a glass bottle. If there's a glass bottle of fish oil, which there probably isn't. So you're going to have to use either a tank or universal fluid. So, but let's go ahead and chisel, knife, saw. Cut this off of here. That on top. I thought these tanks automatically outputted. Why is it not automatically outputting? Because I do believe there is distilled water in there. Where is my magnifying glass? Wait a minute. One of you guys had a magnifying glass. Would you go see if there's distilled water in that tank? Or give it to me and let me do it. Whichever. Don't care. I'll drink some purple drink I got for Christmas. Throw me that in physics. Or come here. See if there's distilled water in that thing, would you? Screwdriver. Screwdriver doesn't change it to tell it to auto output, which is what I would expect. Maybe it auto outputs only to a pipe. 1,000 liters of distilled water. That's what I thought. So, or not a tank, a barrel. Let's see. We need the... There it is. Barrel. Monkey wrench to toggle the automatic output. Alright. Let's find us a monkey wrench. I thought it was automatically on, is why I didn't think of that. Where the hell is my monkey wrench? Probably in my tool bag. Alright, so doink. There we go. Now it will fill adjacent tanks. Alright, so let's get our saw back here. I'm going to take this, we're going to stick it underneath here. And it does not look like it automatically drains into that barrel. Anything? Okay, so the juicer does not auto output, so you're going to have to use a universal cell to pull it out of there, or because we don't have a fluid hopper. Well, you know what? Okay, there you go. So there you go, crazy. There's your fish oil. The only way I know of to get it out of there. Maybe Greg will fix that. I don't know, but let's take this fish meal and go try to cook it real quick. Let's throw that in there and see if we got any sawdust over there. That'll cook it just fine. Come on, quit giving me the sink lag crap and just open my chest, would you? There we go. I'll throw this in here and cook that bad boy. And we got, wait a minute. Crazy, did you cook any of this already? Because I got 3 cooked fish meal. And I definitely only put 1 in there. Let me go do this again. I think I got too much fish meal. Oh, you put 2 in there. Okay, so we are supposed to, so I should have had the 3. Alright, stop confusing me, woman. That's what women are good for, ain't it? And I can't even find a damn fish. You'd think a bear would have all kinds of fish laying around. Apparently, I don't have any. Alright, so raw meat, fish ingots can now be crafted in a mixing bowl by adding flour to the mincemeat or fish meal. Mortar recipes for meat and fish related stuff, so mincemeat and fish meal are now early game and not post shredder. Also, Visix reminded me I needed to check something, so let's see if I can find my mixing bowl or my measuring cup. There it is. I want to try to pick up a small amount of oil. And then that'll be the end of the video. I actually have a small amount of oil back here in the back. Me and Crazy went and got one the other day. And I needed the universal fluid cell. So it got put right here. So if I take this and I put it on the ground over here, it won't let me put it on the ground, dude. Now that I have it, it's got to go in a tank. I can't put it back on the ground. Damn it. So we're going to have to get that oil out of that universal fluid cell so I can get... Hey, get your ass out of the way of the drum. I can't even put it in a drum. Do I have to use a canning machine to get this out of here? Let's try a barrel. We do have a barrel right here that has nothing in it. So let's see if we can do this. Raw oil 1000, definitely not going in. So I'm guessing the only way to get this out of here is with a canning machine. I know there's probably not a recipe thing on here. It'll just tell what's in it or what to do with the measuring pot itself. So I can't check it out in Visix because it's stuck in my damn measuring thing. And I don't have a canning machine that's not used at the moment. I do believe all my canning machines have something in it. So, yeah. Well, there you go. There's your update video for 36 through 41. Greg's been doing a lot of balance changing. As far as I know, the next one is slated to be the same kind of update. That will be 42. He's been doing some testing with 110.2, but don't get excited. He's just doing IC2 Classic with Spiger and me and Crazy and Junior and stuff like that, to help do some of the testing there and to see what 110.2 is like. It's not related to him updating to 110.2, so don't get excited when you read that. But just letting you know what he's been up to in the changelog. He's a bit overwhelmed with multiple things right now due to holidays, family, stuff like that. So it might be a little bit before we get 42 out. So this is possibly going to be the last one for this year. He may sneak another one out before the first year, but I haven't heard. But if not, have a Merry Christmas, have a Happy New Year, and it's been a great year of Gregtech 6. We've made a lot of great changes this year. It's becoming a really awesome mod. I'd like to take this time to thank Greg for all the hard work he's put into making this mod as great as he has up to this point, and the more great things he plans to add in the upcoming year. And thank Axel for this great server that we all are playing on, that gives us a chance to test this stuff, not just in a single player but in a multiplayer, because a lot of the testing that I've gotten to do, I wouldn't have been able to do without having a server to play on, to have Invisix and Crazy and Shadow and Skyra be able to come over and help me with it. It's really nice to be able to have these guys come and help me get a lot of the stuff done and test a lot of things. Also, they help to remind me of the great things that I need to test, because they'll go, hey, what about this? What about that? So along with my thinking, I would love to thank these guys, as I always do. But again, thank you, Crazy, Invisix, Shadow, Junior, everybody that helps me with making these videos, making the updates, testing shit, building shit. I wouldn't be able to do 90% of the things I do because I'm too rambly and forgetful and all that shit. So thank you very, very much for all of the hard work you guys do. So with that, have a good one. Take it easy. Get the hell out of here and go play some Minecraft.